What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that like button while you are here on YouTube. I really appreciate the fact that you are here, guys. This means so much to me because this is just a little hobby for me on the side. If you don't know, I am a businesswoman, so just doing these podcasts, talking about things that I discuss with some of my clients, it's fun for me. It's a little bit of therapy. So I appreciate you guys being on this therapeutic journey with me as I create these podversations. So let's get into this podversation/reality chat. And this is going to be about Martell Holt. Guys, this is a little late because this is one that I have been meaning to do for about 5 days now. But the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta's reunion aired on Sunday, and I was just disgusted hearing Sheree being asked and discussing Martell Holt because she has not been lucky in love. She's had, some questionable relationships with Tyrone from prison, and then previous to that, she was with her ex-husband, Bob, and even another relationship that not a lot of people really even talk about. There was, I don't remember which season it was, but she was dating this guy who claimed he was a doctor, and Candy exposed, and I believe Nene exposed that he wasn't really a doctor. I think he said he got his accreditation from an online school. So, the questions were like, what type of doctor are you really? I don't really hear a lot of people talking about that guy, but Sheree just has not been lucky in love, and she doesn't make a lot of smart decisions, definitely when it comes to business as well as the men in her life. But I found it funny because Funky Dineva was giving his review on these on this reunion because he didn't really watch the show, he said, but he shared some things about Martell Holt that it made me laugh. I'm going to play this clip and then I'm going to get into the rest of this conversation.
Sheree brings up Martell. She says, Andy asked her about who she's dating, and she says, you guys know I'm not into looks. And everybody on there is saying, just be careful. Do you not see how he treated the viewer question said, did you not see how he treated his wife on that other show? And then Sheree, she gave as best a PR answer as she could, which is, if from watching him on the show, I wouldn't want to date him, but getting to know him, he's not a bad guy. Sheree full of shit, and she just want to ignore them damn red signs because she wants to ignore them. Martell Holt called my phone about 3 weeks ago, calling himself, wanting to discuss, rather, a comment that I made on a blog or whatever, and you can feel that same energy that Martell Holt gives on Love and Marriage Huntsville, that sneaky, conniving ass, narcissistic energy. You can feel the shit through the phone. Whenever I talk to that man on the phone, it makes my skin crawl because he's so cringy in the fact that he thinks he's so smart and he's the smartest person in the room and can't nobody see through his bullshit and his lies. So Sheree, you just a damn fool. If I can feel the cringeworthy energy through the goddamn phone, you definitely can feel it in your vagina and in your soul.
Thank you. Thank you. That is why I believe this so-called relationship is either not real or Sheree is just dumb when it comes to men. And it's sad to say that at the age that she is. I'm not saying she looks old. I'm not even calling her old, but she has young adult children. She should be making better decisions, not just for herself, but as an example for the female children that she has, as well as not allowing her son to see that it is okay to treat women any kind of way because my mom got with I was about to say the N-word, but my mom got with a man, and I'm being very loose when I use that phrase with Martell Holt. So I'll just say my mom got with someone who treats women like trash. So that must mean it's okay for me to do the same thing. And it's a terrible example. So I'm hoping that it really is a fraudulent situation and she's discussed this with her children and say, hey, look, babes, you all know your mom's got this expensive mansion to pay for. I've been off and on of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, so I have not had a steady paycheck. This is a business move for me. I don't want you all to think that I'm really with this man because he treated his previous wife and the mother of his youngest child like trash. So I definitely would never be with someone like that. And I hope you all know that because I am, no longer with your father after all of the years and the things that he put me and as a byproduct, our children through. So I definitely wouldn't be in my later years, hopefully having gained some wisdom, getting with someone who would treat women like trash. Because Martell, like Funky Dineva said, I 100% agree with him. Would never have to be on the phone to know this, but that's how I feel whenever I see this man on the show Love and Marriage Huntsville, whenever I see a clip of him from a video that he does on social media, even from his typed up post of him, you could feel, smell, sense, hear, taste the arrogance and the narcissism when it comes from this guy. And that's why I spoke about his mother before. I didn't disrespect his mother. I didn't say anything negative about his mother. And as a matter of fact, everything I spoke, I believe to be true and factual. But definitely, of course, my opinions. But I do believe that a lot of the reasons why this man is the way he is because his mother has enabled him and made him feel that he is right. How in the world, Sheree, even for, the sake of any type of business move, or to continuously be in the social media and blog headlines, choose to be with someone like this is beyond me. But I digress. When Andy Cohen called him a 10, I said, yeah, Andy Cohen being, who he is, he definitely was just looking at a picture of the structure that he feels is somewhat attractive. I don't see anything attractive about him, but that's me. I'm one of those people that if someone is just disgusting in their actions, I don't care what they look like. And he's not my type anyway, so I don't think he's attractive, but I'm just saying, for me, the actions have to align with the way someone looks. And so I've just always been one of those people. I just never fell for the looks of someone. Everything has to come in alignment. I believe that looks are important, but, Andy Cohen, he's just looking at him as eye candy because that's apparently his type. And that's what I've heard about Andy Cohen, too. Allegedly, he's into, dark-skinned men who are really well built. And that's all Martell does is spend time in the gym because the mentality is not there. So he doesn't spend time working on his mind and his brain and passing his builder's license exam so that he can be a legitimate, person in that industry. So it was funny to me when Sheree said that he's into real estate. Yeah, he's into living in his mama's house. That's the real estate he's into, and using other people's licenses and names in order to try to make a quick buck on the side because he's not a legitimate businessman. Even when he lied initially about being with Sheree, he said, no, we're not together. I am actually working on a construction project and I'm going to be building a pool. First of all, she lives in the outskirts of Atlanta, but she lives in Georgia. He is not licensed in Alabama where he lives, let alone in Georgia. So that didn't even make sense. So if he's lying about real estate projects and construction situations, the fact that Sheree could even describe him in that way, it was really hilarious to me. But yeah, Martell, his arrogance and his narcissism got called out, and the fact that he had the nerve and the audacity to contact Q, better known as Funky Dineva, to say, look, I need to have a discussion with you about some things that you you wrote in a blog or whatever. It's like, who do you think you are? People have the right to have their opinions about you. And the fact that you think you have the right to contact people, but yeah, that's his MO. From the time the divorce with he and Melody was making the rounds after that last season, and Melody was just like really getting comfortable with not being with this man anymore and being newly divorced and going on these different interviews, his narcissism and arrogance spoke volumes because he had to try to do the same thing. So he was reaching out to bloggers and getting interviews, and so many people felt the same way about him that Funky Dineva stated about him as well. Even, I believe, while Funky Dineva was interviewing Melody on his YouTube channel, he was calling Funky Dineva at the same time. Sick! He's sick. He's sick. I'm sorry. And I don't know if there's any help for him at this point, but I just wanted to share that. You guys can let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And until the next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest.